Hey guys, it's Terrence with the Black Republican Theory. My parents and I are over here fixing up a house, and so please forgive me if I'm stepping off the camera, but there's a lot of political news that's going on that I need to tune in about. So before I get into it, I'm asking that everyone please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and then let's start the talk. So, about last week, I want to say last Thursday, there's a guy named Oren Cass. Oren Cass, he was a political strategist, Harvard law grad, or is a political strategist and Harvard law grad. He works at the American Compass, or think tank, and he was a strategist for the Mitt Romney campaign, which ironically was one of the first Republican campaigns to reach out to urban areas and say, hey, you know, you guys are business people, we're business people, come on board. So this Oren Cass guy, pretty much the same day, I want to say it was like last Thursday, the same day that Mitt Romney announced his retirement from the United States Senate, Oren Cass posted a thread concerning the fact of Republican and really conservative economic strategy, and so what and how to reach middle class voters. Now, I wanted to comment on not only his points that he posted on Twitter, or now called X, but I also wanted to comment on why I disagree with him, although I think he's an awesome political strategist. So what he stated is that there are organizations within the Republican movement, the conservative movement, who are saying let's move more to the middle to catch some of these moderate center-right voters. He's saying no, we should not be conceding any points on conservative strategy, and instead we need to become more conservative in our strategy because that will turn out voters. Now, I am going to give a different point of view on that. I think he should follow what I'm going to call a Mitt Romney strategy. Mitt Romney / Ralph Bunche. Now, Mitt Romney as a senator has been a very middle of the road type of guy. Yes, he has his conservative bona fides, but he has also made sure that he openly states, you know, what is the strategy that it can win, you know, common sense voters. Now, that type of strategy to win these common sense voters, also known as independents, also known as moderates of either party, has been to play to the middle. And that's how most presidents have done things. Once inaugurated, they've played to the middle. Back in the day, I'd say about the 1930s and 40s, there was the Republican Party they wanted to diversify their voting base. They said, hey, we see that we're starting to, you know, lose the immigrant voters that are coming in. We're losing black voters, etc. So they reached out to a black political scientist named Ralph Bunche. And they said to Mr. Bunche, they said, hey, please write sort of a playbook for us on how do we reach black voters, but also reach voters in the changing demographics of the United States. And what Ralph Bunche said is that we need to play to the center, but stay true to our values. Reach out to the voters that are, you know, who want to see the health care or the New Deal at the time, who want to see some type of regulation. Give them common sense policies. Well, the Republicans back then said, yeah, we don't agree with that. Now, this is evidenced by it's a book by Lisa Wright Rigueur called The Loneliness of the Black Republican, where she directly talked about this exchange, and she carried it forward from, you know, the inception of the Republican Party all the way up to, the Republican Party starting in the 1850s, and one of their first successful candidates for president was Lincoln. Well, he was the first successful candidate for president. But carried it forward all the way to, the present day as of the time of the publishing of her book, which I think was like 2012, well, 2013, 2014, after the Republicans did what they called an autopsy report on the 2012 election, after Mitt Romney had actually lost lost as the presidential candidate. And that was because he tried to play to Wall Street versus playing to Main Street. When you look at what's happening in American politics right now, the changing demographics of America, racially, but also on an economic level, you have to look at the realignment that's happening. You have mostly conservative white voters who live in, mostly homogenous areas in terms of racially homogenous areas. And their concerns financially and economically are the exact same as black folks' concerns, Hispanic folks, Native Americans, etc. Their concerns in different communities around this country. So why would we, as Republicans, only play to a racialized version of that narrative? Right now, you have people in mostly urban areas, majority black, from Tulsa to LA to Baltimore, where I am, Philadelphia, black Americans who, in terms of financial status, they're struggling from paycheck to paycheck. The one thing that black folk know how to do is survive. When you look at the millions, 200 million white Americans, not all of them are filthy, rich. Not all of them are rolling in dough. And in fact, if you do it by a county census data and county, the poorest counties, yes, you have poor white folks, you have poor natives, poor Hispanics, but if you look at the poorest absolute communities in this country, it's actually white majority counties that are suffering the most. Now we say, okay, well, why do they vote for Republicans, yada, yada, yada? Well, that's because of probably social values, upbringing, yada, yada, yada. Republicans need to start playing towards the center, playing towards a more populist approach of how can we win those voters versus playing to a conservative approach of hey, we're just going to keep playing to the right, defund the government, shut down the government, etc., which are the things that's happening right now. The newly aligned voters that are coming into the Republican Party from Pennsylvania, from Florida, etc., they want to see common sense solutions. They don't want to see, and shout out to Scott Presler, who does a lot of work in terms of party registration. Shout out to Don Scoggins in Virginia, who does the same. These folks don't want to see, just purely super conservative, ultra right, far right policy. They want to see common sense solutions that's going to help the working mom, the working dad, the working husband, wife, etc., the grandparents who want to pass on a legacy, etc. So, and as I approach that and I bring up that topic, we also have to see and play towards what's happening in the 2024 electoral politics. By that, I'm specifically referencing something that a lot of people aren't thinking about. It is the fact that Bob Menendez, who is a corrupt politician from New Jersey, is now being thrown under the bus by the Biden administration. He's a Democratic senator, Bob Menendez. He's been thrown under the bus by the Biden administration to, deflect, really, from all of the bad policy and the court rulings that's happening with not only Hunter Biden, but also with Democrats at large. What you have going on right now is Bob Menendez and his wife have been indicted by a grand jury or something like that, federal court, by the Justice Department for accepting gold bars as bribes. Years ago, he got caught up in a corruption charge where he had to fight that one for accepting some money under the table with some type of doctor, yada, yada, yada. And the Democrats let that slide. So you have to ask yourself, why are they not trying to let this slide right now? And then also, why are they doing it to a senator who is one of the top Hispanic senators and top Democratic senators in the U.S. Senate, right? Why are they coming so strong against him? And really, it's because number one, homeboy is going to be up for re-election, but number two, they need to deflect from the stuff that's happening with this Hunter Biden thing. Now, I can give a rat's tail about Hunter Biden and what he's doing. And personally, I believe that all politicians are corrupt to an extent, and I believe that because I've seen the inside of it as part of being part of the Democratic Central Committee and now being on the Republican side with the Republican Board of Elections. I see directly where you have folks who are absolutely corrupt, right? And people who try to, even influence, me. And I say, no. I'm going to report this. I'm going to disclose this, yada, yada, yada. It's about ethics. When you look at people like these big old party machines, you have to look at what they're really trying to get at. What is happening now is that Biden knows that Hunter Biden is a liability for him. Hunter fighting this gun charge, which is just a fraction of the indictment of some of these corruption charges that he is facing, poses a bad problem for Biden as he announces this whole thing of the Office Against Gun Violence and this and that. And then he also offers this whole, hey, we're going to give amnesty to illegal immigrants whose first act in the United States is breaking the law. Now you have undocumented by illegally crossing. Now, and not crossing into a port of entry. Now, you have some illegal immigrants who are overwhelming the port of entries. Why is that? Because they are, they are falsely citing a need for asylum. And when they're doing that, they know that they're going to receive some protections versus following the process, which is in most cases stopping at the first country that is not your home country and then applying for American asylum there. So Biden is saying, okay, by me going after this senator right here, I'm deflecting from the bad policy on the local level of what he's not doing. He's deflecting from, not helping American citizens. And then even more so, the same day that, Bob Menendez whole charge thing, and trust me, I'm not defending Bob Menendez. I'm just saying people keep your eyes and ears open when you're looking at this politics stuff. The same day that that the Justice Department charged Bob Menendez, they also Biden also announced that he's giving amnesty or work permits to many Venezuelans to go and vote. And it's already been noted that some of these Venezuelans who are getting these work permits, they're going to probably be going to where these workers are striking. They're going to be going to the farms and everything else to help out there. They already have permits to become police officers in California and Illinois, where we're allowing undocumented and illegal immigrants to become police officers, where it's already a 2005 study from a liberal university that says a lot of them come over here with anti-black attitudes. Now, I could personally say that as a black man, as a black American who also is married to Afro-Latina woman, I know for a fact that not all Hispanic folks are anti-black. And sometimes it's just the media that's pushing that narrative. But if your first act coming into the United States is going to be standing against black Americans, and is going to be standing against, it's not following the laws that we have, then why should you be here? Why should you be here? Why can't we fast track those deportations, like Obama and like Trump did? Obama actually deported more folks than any other president in American history. Why can't we follow the law and the policy there? Why are we granting amnesty to folks who are not those who came here as children? Those who came here as children, such as DACA kids, they should be given some type of amnesty, but they have to apply just like everybody else, but they should be given legal protections to help them go along those way, because guess what? When you're a child, you're a child. You don't know what your parents are doing. You don't. So you keep the wider focus while you're also looking at these politicians and what they're doing. So we talked on Oren Cass, we talked on the whole Biden thing. I want to also touch on, before I get off of this topic, or before I end this video, is actually looking at the fact that Chicago and New York are completely overwhelmed with this illegal immigrant problem, okay? You look at Chicago, they're now spending $29 million on building tent cities that are going to be in empty or vacant lots to house 500 to 1,400 migrants in those areas. This is what I think. I think that that's ludicrous. You have black folks who are homeless in those cities. You look at this is not Chicago, but you look at LA. There was a statistic that 70% of those who are homeless are black, and black men specifically. Now, a great number of them are black men. Why are we not focusing on American citizens first? And why are we not focusing on American citizens that our country owes a debt to, in terms of the legacy of American freedmen and the history of slavery, to right those wrongs? Okay? There are so many folks that if we play to the middle, if we play to the center-right policies of the winning strategies, or even libertarian strategies, we could make a world of a difference. But we're getting involved with so many other things beyond the scope of not helping American citizens, not helping the people that we see first when we wake up. And this country has already hit $33 trillion of debt. You have cities who have already gone bankrupt over these issues of financial mismanagement. Americans' financial standing has been downgraded. What do we think is going to happen? Guys, this is Black Republican Theory. I'm out.